Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And peace and salutations to the Akim out there spreading this truth like wildfire in all truthfulness and in all sincerity. And Shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Alright. This video is going to be about how Jake is still on that bullshit. Like, majority of the tribe is still on that bullshit. Still eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and other shellfish like oysters. Still, and crawfish. Still, commit adultery, homosexuality, another unclean sex acts. But mainly those, man. And still just being unclean. And not giving a fuck. And let me get Salakia. Oh, and murders, I forgot to mention that. On the list of sins that I keep committing. Let me get Ecclesiastes 8 verse 11. Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. You know, I don't give a fuck, you know, because that sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily. And you know, Jake still thinks shit is sweet when in the scriptures it says this, Ecclesiastes 12 and 6, for the Most High hated sinners and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, keeping them against the mighty day of their punishment. And some of y'all may say, well, I'm just eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and oysters, and crawfish or crayfish. But this is what Most High Yahweh got to say about that. Them dietary laws do matter. Isaiah 66 verse 17. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together. Say Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You know? So it does matter. Showing you that the dietary laws do matter. Yeah. Verse 16, for by fire and by his sword Will Yahweh Hashem Yahushai plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai shall be many. And in the next verse says, they that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, say the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So y'all are going to be consumed together. You know, you put no difference. Between the holy and profane, between the clean and unclean, between the set apart and profane, between the clean and unclean. Ezekiel 22 verse 26, her priests have violated my law and have profaned mine holy things. They have put no difference between the holy and the profane, neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. I have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profane among them. Yup, that's you so-called Christians, man. Today, doing the same shit. There's a lot of y'all that be eating the abomination, eating swine's flesh and abomination. And even some of y'all, I wouldn't doubt eating the mouse. Even some of y'all. But mainly swine's flesh and the abomination. You know, they have, y'all have put no difference between the holy and the profane. Neither have y'all showed difference between the unclean and the clean. And y'all have hid y'all's eyes from the Sabbath. Y'all don't keep the Sabbath, which is based upon the new moon. And then you count new moon 6 work days, and then the one after will be the 7th day. That's when you rest. So new moon every 7 days. New moon and the 7th day, and 7 days, then you count 6 work days again, and then the day after the last work day, that's your Sabbath. That's the 7th day. Y'all have hid y'all's eyes from the Sabbath, man, as well. And the Most High Yahweh is profaned among y'all. That's why y'all are going to be judged. You 2/3. You know, y'all don't think it's a big deal, but the Most High Yahweh mentioned it in His laws, and He mentioned it 2 more times, referring to the dietary laws, and y'all breaking them. So He obviously cares about it. And y'all will say, "Oh, that's the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament. The New Testament says we can eat whatever we want." When you're misunderstanding this verse. Yeah, it says this in 1 Timothy 4:4. For every creature the Most High Power Yahweh is good, and nothing to refuse if it be received with thanksgiving. But verse 5, for it is sanctified by the word of the Most High Yahweh, by the word of the Most High Yahweh, and prayer. So by the word of the Most High Yahweh, what creatures are sanctified by the word of the Most High Yahweh? Exactly. You gotta go to the dietary laws for that. Salakia for that noise earlier. But, yeah. For it is sanctified by the word of the Most High Yahweh in prayer. So what is sanctified? Set apart. You have to know the meaning of words. Sanctified means set apart. What is set apart by the word of the Most High Yahweh in prayer? Those foods that you can eat in the dietary laws, those animals, those beasts that are clean, that were set apart for us to eat. And so, yeah, y'all are still going off, even according to the New Testament. And y'all gonna be judged, man. Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. So, included in that list is the abominable. And you're making yourself abominable with those unclean animals that you're eating that are not meant to be eaten. Just because it says that it's the words that you say, well, it's the shit that you say and do, that doesn't mean that the other law is done away with. Let me get it. I get it because some of y'all may not think it's true, may be new to this. I gotta get it. Matthew 5:17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. Verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one iota or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. Verse 20. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. So there you have it. The laws, statutes, and commandments were not done away with. None of them. None of them. And for the record, Yahweh Shai was a sacrifice. But as for the dietary laws, as for the other laws, they are not done away with. None of them. Not one jot or tittle. So you gotta keep them to the best of your ability, because at the same time we can't keep them perfectly, and I totally understand that. But you gotta keep them to the best of their ability. Rehearse the righteous acts. What is rehearsal? It's when you try to get something right, but you gotta try. Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing waters, slavery. That's here. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh Shem Shai, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of Yahweh Shem Shai go down to the gates. So it's a rehearsal on this side. It's a rehearsal. You try to get it right, but you do try. As James 2 and 17. Even so, faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yeah, verse 18. Yeah, a man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Works what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. If you're a man in this thing, if you're an Israelite man, a so-called black, Latino, Native American, primarily, but you could be a speckled bird if you're drawn to this truth. And you look like the other nations, you could still be a Jake. But if you're a man, an Israelite man in this thing, you know, doing the best you can to push out this word, you know, go out in the highways and byways if you can, when you can, push out videos if you, well, when you can. I would say that because almost everybody has a cell phone. You know, works. Yeah, man may say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works. Now show thee my faith with my works. Verse 19. Thou believest that there is one power, Yahweh. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. Speaking of demons, but also Esau, Edom, the elites especially know that there is one power, and they do tremble. Verse 20. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works? There's verse 21, when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar. Verse 22, seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. Verse 23, in the scriptures was fulfilled which say that Abraham believed the most high power of Yahweh, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called a friend of the most high power of Yahweh. Verse 24, you see then how that by works a man is justified and not by faith only. You know, yeah, man. What if he had said, "Nah, I'm not gonna sacrifice. I'm not gonna sacrifice my son. When I'm not gonna offer my son upon the altar. I'm just gonna, but the Most High Yahweh knows my heart." What if he had said that? Would he still be called a friend of the Most High Power Yahweh? No. So so rehearsing the righteous acts is actually important. And we all slip up, you know. We all slip up. Hold on. Come on, don't give me that. There you go. Proverbs 24:16. For a just man falls 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. You know? A just man, he falls 7 times, but he riseth up again. You know? But the wicked, he don't give a fuck. The wicked shall fall into mischief. But with that, I hope this video was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim out there. Spread this truth like wildfire. And shalom to the rest of the hopeful elect out there. Shalom, stay strong. Ababa Gastra, Ababa Abad, Ababa Abad La, Ababa Ababa mean death to Babylon. Abad La Goyim, Abad La Adawamim, meaning death to these Edomites. Abad La Goyim, death to these heathens. Abad La Adawam, wait, I already said that. Abad La Ayabyam Nawa, death to the rest of our enemies. Death to our enemies, the rest of them being 2/3 of you so-called black people, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as you Israelite foreigners, or AKA speckled birds, that stay here in the States. 2/3 of y'all, are through as well. And, as well as the wicked Israelites scattered to the four corners of the earth. That's y'all as well. Shalom, stay strong, Abba Ball, and Yasharallah forever. Shalom.